Sabili Academy presents Islam Step by Step. Sheikh Ibrahim Zaidan.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Welcome to Islam Step by Step, and with the description of the Prophet عليه الصلاة والسلام. Do we have a description, physical description of the Prophet عليه الصلاة والسلام? Yes, we do. There are many ahadith, many narrations from the companions radiallahu anhum and from other than the companions radiallahu anhum, those who described the Prophet ﷺ, his physical appearance and his manners and so on. And I would read to you some of the things that were mentioned by some of the companions radiallahu anhum, one of which is Anas ibn Malik. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with him. He said about the Prophet ﷺ that he was neither very tall, such that he would be clearly noticed, nor was he short. He was not extremely white, and neither was he brown. His hair was neither very curly nor completely straight. Sometimes he would part his hair at the middle. Other times he would wear it braided. The Prophet ﷺ had the physical and the physique of a powerful person. He had a broad upper back and shoulders between which was the seal of the prophethood mark. He had long muscular limbs with large joints. His lean stomach never protruded out past the profile of his chest. His face was radiant, as if the sun were flowing its course across and shining from his face. Said one companion, this is Anas radiallahu anh, and other than Anas radiallahu anh. His forehead prominent, his pupils large and black, his eyelashes long and thick, his nose high-tipped with narrow nostrils. The Prophet ﷺ, whenever he would walk briskly with a forward-leaning gait, moving with strength of purpose and lifting each foot clearly off the ground. His pace was such that fit men would tire trying to keep up with him, alayhi salatu wassalam. When he turned, he would turn his whole body, giving full attention to the one addressing him and showing complete concern to what was being said. When he pointed, he would use an open hand so as not to offend anyone. Likewise, when he criticized a person's behavior, rather than name the individual, he would simply say, "Why do people do such and such?" He would smile quite often, alayhi salatu wassalam, but his laugh was usually a measured one, generally only to the extent that his front teeth would become visible. He would become angry only to the extent that his face would turn red and the vein between his eyebrows would bulge. He was always humble and never displayed arrogance or pride. That freedom from pride was obvious even to children who would playfully lead the Prophet ﷺ through the streets of Medina, while the Prophet ﷺ, while they would grasp the finger of the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet ﷺ, he would say, "He who does not show mercy to our young nor honor our old is not from us." The young and the old, everyone had an ease with the Prophet ﷺ, honored the elder, showed so much mercy to those who were young. When a child, he had a parrot or a bird that died, and the Prophet ﷺ, he tried to make that child feel better and not to belittle his feelings. And he would joke with him and he would say, "Ya Aba Umayr, ma fa'ala al-Nughayr." He would call him with his nickname. What happened to the small bird? To bring such an ease into the heart of the child. And he would deal with everyone according to their ability, according to their circumstances. That a widow, if she needs something, she would come to the Prophet ﷺ, and he would fulfill the needs of everyone, the poor, the needy, and he would meet the chiefs of the people and he would take care of them and he would honor them. The Prophet ﷺ showed the perfect attitude in every matter whatsoever. And when it comes to these physical behavior, even when the Prophet ﷺ, as we heard, whenever he would talk to someone, he would make that person feels that he has the full concern towards him. And this was a true concern. This is not something that is fake. And people would think, each one would think, that they are the best to the Prophet ﷺ. Like Amr ibn al-As, for example, radiallahu anh. When the Prophet ﷺ sent him to an expedition and he was very successful, he returned back and he thought that the Prophet ﷺ loved them the most because of how much attention the Prophet ﷺ would give them. And when he asked him, who's the most beloved person to you? The Prophet ﷺ had to be honest, and he said, Aisha radiallahu anha, the wife of the Prophet ﷺ. He said, who among the men waiting or expecting that he will be the one? He said, her father, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. So when he gave up and on being one of those who are the best beloved to the Prophet ﷺ, he realized this. And this is the matter how the Prophet ﷺ was to give everyone what they expected from the Prophet ﷺ, with his physical appearance, with his smile, with his goodness ﷺ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala perfected him. We continue inshallah ta'ala with more about the Prophet ﷺ. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.